Oh, viewers, welcome back to another episode. And today's episode is a part two to another episode we did before, which is conspiracies, mysteries, and theories. We dive into that again. This is part two of that. We're going to dive into that lane as well. So I hope you guys are ready for this ride. If you are, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Without further ado, let's step into the unknown.
Friends used to talk about the things we used to do. But until you return, I will be faithful to you. I will be faithful.
Okay, the first thing we're diving into a little bit, we're going to discuss is MK Ultra. I'm going to start right off the back. MK Ultra. I know last time we talked about the reptilian people and people thinking that they are real, and we talked about extraterrestrial life forms and all that stuff. We dive into MK Ultra. Remember, MK Ultra was something the CIA did. Those legal human experiments. It was getting people brains so they can brainwash and manipulate people, get information out of them. It was doing that back in the 50s. Thinking all the way up to like the 70s or 80s, like that. They were doing it for a long time like that, for at least 20 years until it got shut down. Well, they say it got shut down, and a lot of people believe it's still around. And we see like an individual think that celebrities, some of the celebrities that we know, they're going out there and they are being like, manipulated, and maybe higher ups and stuff. They got MK Ultra devices getting utilized against people and making them do the things they want them to do, or picking their brain to get secrets, or just brainwash them in general. So that's one thing, the one theory that people always had about the MK Ultra, and they always had with tied to the cloning. Because we've seen a lot of different things before. Remember, two people before. Remember Kanye West. Kanye West, of course, we call himself Ye now. Remember he had got in a car accident before. Remember before, like he was like kind of getting up and famous a little bit. We mentioned in the song, he said, "I think I died in the car accident because this must be heaven." Remember that song, "Touch the Sky," like that. And a lot of people think that could have been something that was altered a little bit. People think that cloning happened, where they kind of like got him and they took over him and made him to their puppet. And we see all the different outbursts he had. That could just be him just not on his medicine or something. People think that he's he has some type of he have a mental illness or something. So it could be that, or it could be maybe something else. Maybe they trying to trick us to believe is that. A lot of people had conspiracy theories. You really never know what is true and what is not. I remember Kevin Hart get the car wreck that happened to him before. People said after the car wreck it was like different, like that. People thought Kevin Hart got cloned, hit the car wreck to kind of clone him, and then we seen his career was already taken up high, but now has skyrocketed now. Like that, I don't know, but you never know. Like that was what kind of goes on behind the scenes. So we've seen a lot of different theories that kind of like brought that together, like cloning and MK Ultra being kind of tied together. When they say cloning, I don't know if they mean like literal clone. Cause we know they can clone animals, of course. We see them clone like organs and different things, but I think it means mostly like basically like cloning them in the sense of like their past self is gone and they're just using something else to kind of like brainwash them to almost a new individual like that. So that could be something. That's one conspiracy theory that always talked about a lot. Let's dive into some more conspiracy theories that I have on this list as well that we're gonna dive into, which some involve, some creepy pasta. I think we have on the list a few things we have. One of them is, of course, the theory about the celebrities using the kids' blood. The adrenochrome conspiracy theories. People think, the little thing that's found in human blood when hiding emotions and stuff like that, and people think they're using that to kind of like keep themselves young, or using it for different ways and evil ways like that. We've seen a lot of people hint towards that. We know they have child sex trafficking rings. They always happen like that. There's probably still some going on right now. We know, of course, the Jeffrey Epstein one was probably one of the biggest ones that they caught, but there's a lot of different ones around the world. A lot of people think some of those celebrities and the Hollywood Hollywood elites and those stars like that, people with the money, the big money, the elites of the world, I think a lot of those people are kind of like utilizing that sex ring to kind of get that and stuff. Now that right there sounds crazy, but sometimes you never know. Things can be very crazy like that. But it's one of the theories they always had like that. People think Oprah Winfrey and Ellen and all the different billionaires like that. Even Clinton not a billionaire, but the Clintons and stuff like that, all different ones who had like ties to some like weird and creepy stuff like that. I feel like they feel like a lot of those guys and gals are utilizing sex traffic ring to kind of get the blood for the children. They say like they use it for youthfulness and doing satanic rituals. I don't know. That could be something. We seen that. I almost forgot what it was. I think it's in California. That little forest they have where they say like a lot of people was going to the forest. It was like doing some weird cult thing as well, like that in the forest. I forgot what that forest was. What is that called? Actually, let me search that real fast if I can. Found it. Yeah, Bohemian Grove. Remember Bohemian Grove? It said 2,700 acre remote campground in Monte Rio, where the ultra wealthy gather annually, is famous for its secretive theatrical rituals like cremation of care, and has faced decades of intense public scrutiny regarding networking and backdoor political influence. Yeah, there was always one like this, like very strange, like Bohemian Grove. Like they go there doing like weird rituals and stuff. It's like some like weird cult thing they had. They've been doing that for like years. I first seen about that, I was like, what is even happening like that? They're doing like some crazy stuff, some like sex rituals and all type of stuff you can think of like that happening throughout there. Fire, they like using fire to cremate stuff and doing all type of just crazy things. So I don't know exactly what goes on at that spot or that place, but there's a conspiracy surrounding that too. But let's dive into the next one, which is, the back rooms. You see the back rooms? Remember the movie that came out? The Backrooms movie came out. The lore of the Backrooms has been going on for quite some time. I remember since I was in high school, they said that lore of like the Backrooms, seeing the creepypasta stuff. Remember creepypasta also had Slender Man. Remember the Slender Man stabbings with the little girls? They thought they stabbed their friend and killed her. They were sacrificing her to Slender Man, which is crazy to say like that. But they thought they were sacrificing her to Slender Man and try to stage it up a little bit. But most of the wounds, they felt like the wounds was not defensive wounds. It was offensive wounds. It was wounds that they was inflicting like that. They might have cut themselves by stabbing like that and kind of make it look like they got attacked by somebody. But they tried to sacrifice their friend to Slender Man, which sounds very crazy. But that's one thing they got from the creepypasta thing. There's a lot of different stuff on there, of course, as well. They have all those stories and different things they made up and stuff. But the Backrooms one, even though the Backrooms thing itself, like, Kane Parsons, little short films and stuff like that, and then now got the movie that's doing very, very well in the theaters. I seen it on the first day it came out. Very good movie too. The day before it came out. I had a very good movie though. It was very good in my opinion. 8 out of 10. I did a movie. Got a second one coming out. But the original post of Backrooms was there right there. Yeah, the original post of Backrooms. Most of the eerie stuff is like if you're not careful and you not clip out of reality in wrong areas, you'll end up in the back rooms where it's nothing but the stink of old moist carpet, the madness of mono yellow, the endless background noise, fluorescent lights, and maximum hum buzz, and approximately 600 million square miles of randomly cemented empty rooms to be trapped in. Say God save you if you hear something wandering around nearby, because it sure as hell has heard you. That was the original post that posted. But what was like creepy about that though is that of course the Backrooms thing is like a fictional thing, but the original post, that picture was actually a real picture. That's a real picture of like an area like that. It was taking place. I think they did the little research. Like it was taking place back in Wisconsin, and that picture right there was taken in 2000, like I think 2 or 3. So that right there was like way back. And then the person who posted this was anonymous. Like they never found out who the person who originally posted the backroom stuff, the Backrooms theory of being lost like that. So that's why kind of like a little mystery around that as well. I don't think the Backrooms are real like that. Of course not. But you never know with certain things like that. But the lure around that is always like, where did the post come from? Like that, and then the place actually existed in Wisconsin like that, and the way it's set up like that is just very, very creepy a little bit. But moving on to the next topic, we're going to dive into some other things about some islands and some other things, little conspiracies about more into the little sex ring stuff and conspiracies and theories about those. And then we're going to end it off with some physics talk. So let's dive into those right now. Okay, we know, of course, about the Epstein Island and all that stuff. I did see that documentary a few weeks back. Nick Crowley does a very good job with all his videos and documentaries series. Watching him for like years, like 4 or 5 years, he does a very good job doing all that. The way he builds everything up like that, and the feel like that, especially the build up in this video. Remember the AV Loop one he did a few weeks back about the conspiracies around the model and all that stuff like that. The AV Loop and conspiracy of that being the aviation group being almost like a cover up for a sex trafficking ring. And you see Epstein was a big investor in that company as well, and he also was said to have purchased the model when she was like 15, and then when she got older like that, she was not only a victim, but she became basically the predator eventually too. She started preying other people around her age and stuff, and started utilizing that, and start drawing people in and bringing them in and doing different things too. But she got immunity, helping them against Epstein like that. So he never really dove into her fully. So I don't know. But we did see, of course, I think I mentioned it a little bit. I was talking about the Oakland child killings. Remember back in Michigan, we did the video on there before on NC Unknown, and we seen the North Fox Island. Remember North Fox Island was kind of like the before Epstein Island. We seen a rich man. What was his name again? His name was, what was his name? Frank Sheldon. Frank Sheldon back in the 60s. We seen him go to North Fox Island, like in Michigan, the little island is right there. And he bought an island and he was doing like, sex trafficking ring with children and stuff there. And a lot of the children that was missing in the Oakland County killings happened around the same time that happened. And then one of the people kind of like getting investigated and involved, and you see pictures of the children in those individuals' rooms and stuff like that, kind of made you like think that it's kind of like connected together a little bit. It's connected from the sex trafficking ring that they had on the island, and also the child kidnapping, and the murders that happened to the children that were found in ditches and all that stuff, where they was found so far off and stuff. Like how the child got there, they traveled there on foot and stuff. So it was different things that kind of tied together. So I feel like everything is kind of tied with it and kind of going with it. So that's conspiracy. People always had like both things was like together. And Sheldon never got really questioned about any of that, because after the things got heated and we seen one of them get arrested. I think one of the coaches that worked there, he got accused of molesting a child, and they found out he did molest the child as well. So he got arrested, and Sheldon kind of disappeared. He disappeared, and they say eventually he died later on in life. But that right there was something that tied together the Oakland child killings and then the North Fox Island kind of being tied together a little bit too as well. So there's a lot more stuff like that. And you'd be surprised. There's a lot of crimes around that kind of connect together with other ones. It's just like, maybe like good cover up and stuff. Cause he was a millionaire like that. He was like a rich individual buying an island. Of course, you had to have some money to buy an island, but back then it was a little cheaper, but still a lot of money to do so. But yeah, it was very crazy situation with that. But let's dive into our last part of this video, where we dive into some physics, and we're going to talk about time travel. This is the last part of the video. This is the time travel part of the video. Dive into some physics a little different. Now, I know this is not like a creepy conspiracy, but this is conspiracy, time traveling, all that stuff that kind of goes on. We've seen, of course, emphasis like, Albert Einstein mentioned like how you can travel, forward in time like that, because technically you do it every day. It's like, say for instance, if you was going to the store and it takes you 20 minutes to get there, but you on foot it takes you 20 minutes to get there, but in car it takes you 7 minutes to get there. Technically, you're time traveling a little bit because you get into that distance in a faster time like that. So you're looking at it based off that base, then yes. But a lot of people think about time traveling like going back in time. That's where the conspiracy kind of goes. We've seen wormhole theory, where open up a breach or a wormhole with dark matter and energy and be able to sustain and like project you back to space by teleporting you back in time, like some Back to the Future type stuff. Or we also seen theories of maybe going fast enough to like just open up almost like a portal. It's kind of like a wormhole, but like almost like a dark hole and stuff in the dark matter, and getting back there with negative energy too. But to possibly even go that fast, you have to, because the speed of light is very fast. It's like what? It's like 290. I think 186,000 miles per second. That's per second, and 670 million miles per hour. So you probably get vaporized. You get vaporized like trying to even go that fast. I think the fastest thing we have in this world is that Mach 9 little cruiser, the little space thing NASA made, the X-43. Yeah, that went like Mach 9. It said Mach 9.6. Like that as well as the fastest it can go, almost 7,000 miles per hour, which is very fast, but not fast enough to try to do that. So the best way, if you was to try to time travel, in theory, was try to be able to control negative energy, dark matter energy, and try to make a wormhole, a loop. But I feel like time traveling wouldn't be the wise idea, because we know the theories about time travel. We know the what's his name? What was his name? Was it Kronovic? I forgot his name. What's his name? Oh yeah, Novikov. The different theories about time traveling, Albert Einstein, and different ones they mentioned, the principles. You gotta follow some rules like that based off their theories. Of course, the theories could be wrong because they never time traveled before, so they don't know what is what. But like I mentioned before, the back of this right here. If you're time traveling, we're getting crazy. It's conspiracy theories. If you're time traveling, let's say for instance, I'm left-handed, so I do it on this side. But let's say for instance, this is the main timeline right here. Remember his theory he had? The main timeline like that. We've seen different little things he used it for. let's say for instance, on the main timeline has it where we did my timeline. You know, my father died back, let's see, way back here. So we're gonna do it right there and put 2004. Like that. It said father death. And we right here in the present time. Right here. This is why I'm at present time. This is me, present time right here. And this is the future. Now, in his theory, the future is always changing. The future can change. This is like right now, my passion in life is to do my production company one day like that, produce shows, series, movies, and all type of stuff, music and everything, and also be a professional wrestler. That's my stuff I want to do like that on the YouTube thing, doing the sports content, talking about sports, all from media underneath that production company. But let's say instant I say, you know what, I want to switch my stuff over and become a detective. So that right there, it could change like that. It's infinite like ways the future can go. The future can go this way, that way, that way, that way, that way, that way. The future can go different ways like that. But in the past, everything's already said. It's like people always say, yesterday's history and tomorrow's a mystery because the future can change, but the past is already set. But say I went back in time and say, you know what, I'm gonna go back in time and pull a Flash with the Flash did. Remember he saved his mom? I'm gonna go back in time and save my father. That right there will create a new timeline. Like that. And this would be me right here. The future still, of course, is infinite. Like it can change like that, but a new timeline is formed. And say I say, you know what I did was wrong. I want to go back in time again to make it where my father did die, but you can never get the timeline back. So it forms another timeline and it just keeps going. It's infinite. That was his theory. Like it was like infinite like that. And based off the events you make in the past will affect you in the future. Now, of course, that stuff it's just theory because it never really happened yet. No one ever time traveled like that before. But it's one way it's possible. I think is better control the matter energy. One time before they did find a breach of like some dark matter energy before. So somebody thought that somebody maybe time traveled to the future, like that from the past to get there to like leave something, or maybe there's an energy that's formed naturally in the world like that. But I feel like they should leave time travel alone though. That's one thing I feel like they should leave alone, because going back in time and maybe messing something up can cause a lot of different things to change like that. You might even, I don't know, you probably drink some water. You get a glass of water. That water right there was for this man. He didn't have his water for his medicine, so he died, and then it trickled effect that caused that and that. So you never know how it can affect anything. I sound like a mad scientist right now, but I'm not. But time travel, I feel like you should leave that alone a little bit, because a lot of things can happen. Like there's an infinite time loop, infinite loop like that. It's fun talking about those theories. I know it don't fit the creepy style of the video a little bit. It can be creepy a little bit, scary, not knowing how the future is, because the future is infinite, and then going to the past and maybe coming back to a future that is unknown a little bit. So you never know. But yeah, that's kind of the theory for the time travel and everything. And it's kind of some of the theories I want to dive into, the conspiracies. So let me know what you guys think about this, about all the things that's going on, and I'll see you guys on the next episode of Into the Know. Peace out.